Hey y'all, today I'm going to expand on my What's With You Jazz Guys and All Your Chords video. I'm also going to tail it into yesterday's lesson on the 1-4 progression using dominant chords. We're going to examine some chord inversions on the first 4 strings in multiple keys today, and we'll also add them to the 1-4 progression. I'm also going to show you an easy chromatic move that you can add to your dominant chord playing that'll just give you a little bit of chromaticism and a little bit of flavor there. We'll also start a little bit today on a look at a standard that plays on the 1-4 progression and kind of brings us into the concept of chord melody, and I'm going to touch a little bit upon that as well. All of these tie into my concept that the connection between chords, scales, and arpeggios is the information that you need and the tools that a diverse guitar player needs in their belt in order to comfortably cover many different styles. Thanks for watching. If you remember from yesterday, our 1-4 progression in the key of G would use a G7 and a C9 is what I elected to play yesterday, but a C7 chord. The 9th chords and 7th chords are interchangeable, and that's something to keep your thoughts on while I go through this lesson today. To connect the first two, I would take generally this G7 on the 3rd fret, and the C7 inversion that I have close to that would be this one. But this is my first example of why I would use a C9. To tail these two chords together, the 9th has a little bit of a better flavor to it, if you ask me. The next inversions up the neck would take us to the root position G and 5th fret. The C7 that goes along with that is a second inversion C. On these chords, you're really going to hear the 3rd on top of the G7 chord, and then the 7th on top of the C7 chord, which give it another flavor all of its own. As I continue up the neck, I'm in 8th position for this next one. It's what I was calling the Sly and the Family Stone inversion before. Again, I'm going to elect to play a G9 instead of that chord because of the flavor that gives me the sound that I'm looking for. The C chord that I would attach that to is going to be this one that comes from the bar chord. So it'll be on the 8th fret where the root is on top. And I'm just going to play those again so you can hear G9, C7. The last inversion that I have up on the neck would be the G7 with the 7th on top. And then that would take me to a 4 chord, which would be the C7 chord with the 3rd on top. Anything that's outlining guide tones, the 3rds and the 7ths on the top of the chord tends to have a specific sound that brings out those qualities. Yesterday I introduced you to the concept of the Cruella Devil phrase, which, if you recall, is outlining the 3rd and the 7th on each one of my chords. On the G, it'd be right there. On the C, it's over here. One easy move that you can add chromaticism to either of these chords, or just in general to this, is to add a passing tone on the way down to the dominant 7th. This move is often referred to as the bebop dominant. I'll get further into that scale on subsequent videos, but for right now, all I'm talking about is adding that in at the end of a phrase, or using that chromatic move on top of the progression. There's a great standard that works on the 1-4 progression. In this case, it's in the key of B flat, and that song is Mercy Mercy by Joe Zawinul. When I have a look at that song itself, the structure is just 2 chords, B flat 7, E flat 9. There's more to it than the A section, mind you, but I'm just looking at the A section today. The melody itself is based on B flat major pentatonic. The melody itself starts on the 6th. If I add one chord move to this, I can make it sound almost like a semi-chord melody. And this move is playing an F minor shape that's on the 6th fret, 5th fret, 6th fret, strings 2, 3, and 4. I might add other moves to that where I'm coming up using 3rds here, or just other double stops to sort of enhance the melody. Might sound something like this.